Good afternoon. Sorry to interrupt your chatting. Chat quietly. Keep coming in. Thank you for coming this afternoon. My name is Brad Davis. I'm one of the faculty in the College of Environment Design. Currently the MLA program coordinator. I get the pleasure and joy, the treat of introducing our speaker tonight, Dr. Qiong Wang. I always say it the wrong way. An assistant professor in our college, and I'm going to give you a little bit of her background before she gets started. By the way, she's already a much loved and admired professor in the college. A bunch of her students are here. I hear only wonderful things, so very engaging in the classroom. And she holds a PhD in Planning, Governance, and Globalization from Virginia Tech. Go Hokies. And additionally, she possesses a master's degree from Peking University in Beijing and a bachelor's degree in landscape architecture from Beijing Forestry University, and widely recognized as the top landscape program in China. And after earning her master's degree, she gained 5 years of professional experience as a landscape architect at AECOM, a worldwide well-known firm, as well as other design firms. I believe one was in North Carolina at one point. And her research focuses on climate change adaptation and disaster resilience policy, planning, and design. And I think we're going to hear about some of that tonight or this afternoon. And everyone always needs to know that she has a twin sister, Dr. Qiong Wang, who is a professor at LSU. So thank you for speaking to us tonight. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Davis.
Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, great. Thank you for being here. It's a great opportunity for me to share my research and teaching experience after I joined CED. I joined CED in 2023, almost 2 years ago. How time flies. So in today's lecture, I will talk about enhancing climate resilience in Georgia with a focus on flood mitigation and nature-based solutions. And I will share my previous interdisciplinary collaboration in studio, and then I will explain my current research projects. Last fall semester, my students from urban planning collaborated with students from landscape architecture at Louisiana State University. We worked on a mixed-use development project in Savannah for their planning, zoning, and urban design department. And I think all my previous students are here. Could you show your hands? Okay. The major goals of this collaboration are showing how integrating urban planning and landscape architecture in a shared studio enhances student learning and design outcomes. And we also wanted to explore the impact of interdisciplinary collaboration on student approaches to climate change. And lastly, we planned to evaluate how interdisciplinary service learning studios shape students' understanding of urban and landscape design principles. And our project site is located at 105 Fort Argyle Road. You can see from this map, this is downtown Savannah, and this is our site in the south of the city. And this project covers almost 300 acres and was used as a borrow pit. And city planners would like to transform this site into a mixed-use development. We have two major research questions for this experience. How does an interdisciplinary service learning studio experience shape students' understanding of urban and landscape design, learning experience and principles? And what are the pedagogical outcomes of such collaboration for climate adaptation planning and design? And here are our students' characteristics. Students from LSU were third-year BLA students, and which means they had completed several landscape design projects previously, and they had foundational knowledge and skills about design. But our UGA students were first-year students in the Master of Urban Planning and Design. And from this table, most of our students did not have design backgrounds, and they have the backgrounds with civil engineering, public policy, real estate, and other backgrounds not related to design. And half of them, more than half of them, were international students. So for Savannah projects, we divided students into 4 groups, and each group had 2 or 3 team members from UGA side and 3 or 4 students from LSU. I and Dr. Wang considered the students' backgrounds, the skill size, and the overall team numbers when forming the final mixed teams. So this is the background information about our students and also the groups. Here is the timeline and the course structure for this collaboration and studio. We have 3 major stages, including introduction to urban design, site inventory and analysis, and design development. In the following slides, I will explain each stage in detail. So in the first stage, as I mentioned before, since our UGA students did not have design background, so I asked the students to conduct 2 mapping exercises to prepare them with the basic urban design knowledge and skills. And in the meanwhile, LSU students had to conduct another residential design besides Savannah project because they had design foundations and skills, so it's better for them to conduct more projects for their portfolio. And here are the examples of our group's mapping exercise 1. In this exercise, I asked the students to study the Highland Park in New York City to develop their analysis skills about the urban systems, such as land use, transportation, open space, and some other elements in the urban systems. And based on this case, it was also a great opportunity for them to study the urban design related issues like gentrification and equity issues. And this was also a group work, so they also fostered team-based critical thinking and collaboration skills based on this exercise. And in the exercise 2, students connected theory of the image of the city to identify the key elements within urban design for the downtown area in Savannah. And based on the theory, they developed a visual map for the downtown area for Savannah. And this is another preparation of them to better understand the background of the city. And after the first stage, our UGA students started to conduct a systematic inventory and site analysis of the existing conditions in the city, and through the lessons of cluster development and climate resilience. At the same time, since LSU students need to conduct their Chicago field trip due to their academic structure, so later on they joined our UGA teams to conduct site analysis. And here are the examples from one of our UGA teams. The students were Nazarene, Nishma, and Isabel. And you can see that our UGA students collected a wide range of data for the site and city and conducted a comprehensive analysis. And they identified two major problems for the site. First is the site has experienced repeated flooding. And the second problem is that the city's population is growing rapidly and the housing demand is also increasing. So it is necessary to balance the growing housing demand with the preservation of natural resources for Savannah. And here are the examples of the site analysis from other groups from our UGA side. Our students were graduate students, so they were good at quantitative data analysis, and they also reviewed zoning ordinance for the city in depth. These are their strengths. But for LSU team, LSU students, they were undergraduate students with the foundation of design knowledge and skills. So they were good at physical environment analysis, and also they were strong in graphic design. So they took a lead on the poster development for this process. Here is the example from LSU students' work, and on the poster you can see this map is showing the damage data of floods, and it is also showing the floodplain, including 1% and 0.2% annual chance flood hazard areas. And here is another example of the site analysis poster from LSU. So you can tell that our UGA students shared their quantitative analysis methods and also deeper insights with LSU undergraduate students about the site analysis for the site. And in the meanwhile, LSU team worked on poster design and also conducted landscape-related analysis. So you can see from this interdisciplinary collaboration, they really helped each other and learned a lot from their peers and worked efficiently to have this comprehensive and productive understanding of the site. So in the final stage, students focused on design development. Before last semester in the summer, I discussed the schedule with Dr. Wang, and we planned to let UGA students to complete urban design first, and then LSU students could dive into landscape design based on UGA students' urban design work. But in the process, we found that it was challenging for students without design background to develop urban design in a short term. So we let LSU students to help UGA students work on urban design to finalize the draft layouts of the land use and functions on the site. And based on the draft layouts, LSU students continue to choose one specific location to develop landscape design. And our UGA students continued to refine the layouts and refine the specific strategies for the site. Here is the example from one of our groups, and this work is from Monet and Tina. This is the first poster to show their general design ideas, goals, themes, and also budget estimates and overall strategies. So the main goal of their team, of their design, is to enhance community resilience in key 3 areas: reducing flood risk by using nature-based solutions, promoting equity, and improving connectivity. So on the map, on this poster, can you see? Let me see. Can you see my mouse? Okay. So this area is single-family homes, and in this corner, this is townhome. Oh, this is the area for townhomes, and this is commercial area, and here is apartments area, and the rest of area is the green space. So let's have a look at the specific strategies. The first strategy, they were focusing on flood mitigation, and they proposed to use nature-based solutions like native plants, green infrastructures, and wetlands to mitigate flood risk, control erosion, support environmental conservation, and restore wildlife habitats. And in strategy 2, they would like to focus on equity. In order to minimize the potential effects of gentrification, they considered the needs of different types of residents, such as growing families, single-parent families, and families with disabilities. And they also proposed a mix of housing types to meet this purpose, including single-family homes, townhomes, and apartments, as I mentioned in the previous poster, in order to support a diverse community. And additionally, they also suggested involving community members in activities related to art, education, and also nature to promote equity and strengthen the community culture on the site. So these posters were from UGA side, and the next posters are from LSU students. And based on the urban design layouts, LSU students chose one specific location to develop their landscape design. And they choose this single-family home landscape to dive into design, and they incorporated cluster development concept in their design strategy, which means cluster development can reduce the lot size for each family and provide the shared open space for the community. And they also considered about flood mitigation. This poster is showing that during hurricane season, the water will cover the wetland area to make room for flood waters. And then in the dry season, the wetland can serve as a recreational space for the community. So after this complicated process, by the end of the semester, I let my students and also LSU students fill out a survey to evaluate and recognize collect data about their perceptions for interdisciplinary collaboration and also service learning. In the survey, we had both closed-ended questions and open-ended questions. Since I'm still working on the open-ended questions answers analysis, and here I want to share some preliminary results with you for the closed-ended questions. So from this chart, you can see that most of students thought the collaboration between urban planning and landscape architecture can enhance their learning experience. And I also studied the difference between graduate and undergraduate students' perception about interdisciplinary collaboration, but there is no big difference between graduate students and undergraduate students. And almost all students think that interdisciplinary collaboration can help address the issue of climate resilience in their design projects. And a little bit more graduate students think it is more significantly for interdisciplinary collaboration to address the climate-related problems in their projects. And finally, most students consider that a service learning project can enhance their understanding of urban and landscape design principles. And almost all the students, just except one student, would like to participate in the future service learning projects. And here is the quote from one UGA student. I won't read all of them, but I want to highlight two key points that this student highlight. Throughout the design phase of the project, we were able to meet with a planner from the city of Savannah that provided insight into the needs of the community, development standards, and expectations for the project. So this can explain why students are interested in service learning project, and also this service learning project can provide opportunities for students to communicate with stakeholders directly. And another key point is the highlight of this experience was the trip to Savannah, meeting LSU team, visiting the site, and presenting in front of multiple professionals from Savannah's government and owner of the site. Last semester, on November 20th, our UGA and LSU teams went to Savannah to deliver their presentations and explain their designs to stakeholders, including public officials, city planners, and also other stakeholders in Savannah. That was a great field trip for them, and maybe later our students can share their experience about this. So here are some key takeaways based on this interdisciplinary collaboration. First, interdisciplinary collaboration strengthened design feasibility. You know, from the process, we can tell that students with different backgrounds can share their perspectives and also learn things from each other and also help with each other to be productive. And second, real-world applications kept the students motivated. So service learning component is one of the most important component in landscape design or urban design fields. And the real-world project can encourage students to better understand the site and also communicate with stakeholders directly. And another key takeaway that I want to highlight is I and Dr. Wang find that we as instructors need to be flexible, because our students had diverse backgrounds and had different levels of skill set. So we need to customize our course structure and also lecture content for them to help them to proceed in the design process. So what's next? I discussed with my sister, and she will have graduate students in the next fall in the water systems studio. So we will continue to collaborate with each other. And I also talked with Johnny and Ashley to combine urban design studio and also sustainability in design studio for first year MUPD students and also fourth year BLA students. And we will conduct a project in New Orleans, focus on water quality management, flood control, and biodiversity. And we also plan to conduct a community engagement activity with the local design firm for the local community. So if you are interested in this collaboration, please contact me. Okay, That's my teaching experience that I want to share with you in my presentation, and then I would like to share my research project. So the first one is resilience-based adaptation in rural Georgia, a comparative analysis of nature-based solutions for flood risk management in coastal and inland counties. This project is supported by UGA Rural Engagement Seed Grant. My co-PIs are Professor Pagan from Engineering Department at UGA, and also Professor Qiong Wang from Louisiana State University, and I also connected with some colleagues from UGA Extensions to help us identify the specific communities for this research. Okay, so I want to follow this structure on the right to explain my research, and this is a typical structure when I conduct a new research project. So first, let's have a look at the background information. Between 1980 and 2022, the Southeast in the US has experienced substantial economic burdens due to climate change. Georgia frequently experiences billion-dollar disasters, especially with flood risks. And in the future, more than 400,000 properties have a 26% chance of severe flooding over the next 30 years. And our research focuses on rural communities because more than 95% of US land is rural, and this type of communities usually like comprehensive flood risk data and tailored mitigation policies. And at the same time, much of the existing research focuses on urban environments overlooking rural communities. And many researchers indicated that $1 invested in hazard mitigation can save $6 in recovery. So it is necessary to adopt hazard mitigation policies and actions, especially nature-based solutions. So the purpose of this research is to enhance precision of flood risk assessments using GIS and evaluate feasibility and benefits of nature-based solutions for rural communities. And the potential audience are local government officials and resilience experts. And here are two major questions that we want to answer. How can GIS be used to enhance the precision of flood risk assessments in rural flood-prone areas? And what nature-based solutions are feasible for enhancing flood resilience in rural coastal and inland counties? And from this map, you can see that our study area is within this red box. In Georgia, a rural county is defined as one with the population of less than 50,000. And from this map, we can tell that besides some counties in the north and some coastal counties, most of the Georgia counties are rural counties. And within our study area, we have 3 coastal counties. They are Long, McIntyre, and Liberty counties, which are located in the coastal watershed. And the rest counties are inland counties. And then we used ArcGIS Pro to analyze flood risk and also evaluate nature-based solutions. We collected data from digital elevation model, national land cover database, national hydrography dataset, and also USA Soil Hydrologic Group. And from these maps, we can tell that the study area is vulnerable to flooding, particularly during hurricanes and seasonal storms. And here are the analysis steps. So first, we removed depressions in DEM, and it is essential for accurate hydrological analysis. And then we created flow path to define the direction of water flow. And lastly, we identified streams and calculate how many upstream cells drain into each cell, and high values indicate streams, rivers, and potential flood zones. And next, we generated raster files for flood risk, including flow accumulation, slope, soil permeability, and land use factor. So for a land use factor, we assigned runoff values based on the land use classification, and higher values represent slower runoff. And finally, we created this flood risk map. So on the map, the red and the yellow areas indicate the highest flood risk with high flow accumulation, steep slope, low permeability, and high runoff land use. And most of the grid cells are purple and blue areas, indicating that the majority of the region has low to very low flood risk. So based on this flood risk map, we continue to conduct evaluation for nature-based solutions. And we chose forests, wetlands, agriculture, and pasture land as the scenarios to evaluate nature-based solutions. And we simulate the change from high risk to low risk and run flood risk models again for these scenarios. And finally, we calculate the percent reduction in high-risk flood areas based on the scenario results and the baseline flood risk analysis. So this is the result that based on our evaluation. Wetlands is the most effective nature-based solutions which have the highest reduction in both coastal and inland areas. But forests only have strong coastal benefits, but moderate inland benefits. And agriculture and pasture land are least effective nature-based solutions with the lowest flood risk reduction. So in conclusion, we recommend that wetlands should be prioritized for flood mitigation in both inland and coastal areas. And forests are valuable, especially in coastal regions, and can complement wetlands in nature-based solutions. But agriculture and pasture lands offer limited flood protection on their own. Maybe we can enhance their effects with conservation practices. And since this research is still ongoing, and we are testing some engineering modeling programs right now, such as HEC-RAS and SWMM and INVEST. I hope we can have some progress in the following weeks to figure out which program is proper for the evaluation of nature-based solutions for rural communities. And I also plan to conduct a community engagement, particularly like participatory GIS, to collect data for rural communities. This is because the rural communities in Georgia do not have enough data to support the policymakers to make decisions. And in the future, I will incorporate social factors within the analysis and evaluation. And at the same time, I'm still working on another project, which is examining nature-based solutions for climate policy in Georgia counties. But it is not finished. I'm still working on it. The research question for this project is to what extent do county-level plans in Georgia incorporate nature-based solutions? And so far, I used content analysis to analyze 24 comprehensive plans to figure out how they incorporate nature-based solutions within their comprehensive plans. I don't have a lot of results right now. I will continue to review more comprehensive plans for other counties within Georgia. But so far, I found that the primary focus area for nature-based solution-related policies is climate resilience strategies. So which means many nature-based solution initiatives can be positioned as core elements within climate adaptation strategies for local governments. And I'm also interested in studying the equity integration for the nature-based solutions for local communities. Okay, so this is my scope of work. It's kind of advertisement. I'm interested in interdisciplinary collaboration in studio, and since I received a grant to establish a new fabrication lab, so I would like to incorporate 3D printing technology in my course. And my research interests are focused on climate resilience, flood mitigation policy, planning, and design. And if you are interested in any of them, please contact me and we can write paper together. And currently I'm working with one MLA student, Laura Smith, to write a paper. And currently I don't have any PhD students. So if you are interested in this type of research topic, I can advise thesis or dissertations. And I'm also encouraging our students to participate in conference poster or presentation sessions. And currently, one of our previous students is working on design competition submission. And here is my email address, and my office is 4 Bishop. So if you are want to collaborate or have any questions about your research or thesis, dissertation, please contact me. Thank you.